Okay, so welcome to 4 of 6. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but this is going very quickly. I'm surprising like how quickly it's going. But so today we're going to talk about eating more fruits and vegetables. So welcome, and just what we've covered in other class sessions, we've done swapping fats, snacking on nuts and seeds, and things like that. And I have to tell you, I've been so impressed by the recipes you guys are sending me. It is so fun to see different ones that people have done, like you guys all, say you all do the same recipe and how it turns out differently based on, some of you said you made modifications and things like that. And it would be really cool if I could put together a slideshow at the end with just all your pictures, because then you guys could see each other. So that maybe that would be a good goal. But it's just really awesome. So if you haven't submitted any recipes, you'll have to try. I think people are having fun with it. So, and I hope so anyway. Okay, moving on. So I don't know if you remember from the other presentations, but eating the Mediterranean way, there's some key components. So I'm gonna give a fill in the blank thing. See if you guys can write it in the chat, or if you want to just yell it out loud. So instead of going through them again. So first one, quiz. So eating lots of what and blood of all shapes, sizes, and colors. It's the core of eating the Mediterranean way. What are the fill in the blanks? Eating lots of what and what? Yes, way to go, Mike. Fruits and vegetables. First one on there. You guys, yeah, Jen's got it too. Okay, so what about this one? Make all or most of your what whole? Grains. Yes, way to go. You want to try to make most of them whole? Okay, what would be your plant proteins that you should make your go-to? It's starts with a B and one starts with an L. Beans and legumes. Good job, you guys. Okay, way to go. So then, what should you have about at least 2 to 3 times per week? It's another protein source. So you should put it on the menu 2 to 3 times a week at least. And we talked about fish. Good job, you guys. And then choosing what would be some good snacks in addition to meals that have healthy fats. Like if you could do this instead of granola bars, or yes, you guys got it, nuts. And so then okay, so you should replace solid fats such as butter with healthy fats, particularly what oil? You guys are on that one. Okay, and so flavor food with what and what to reduce salt use? Herbs and spices. Yes, geez, you guys are good. Okay, now if this is optional, drinking up to 1 glass a day for women or 2 glasses for men is something that it is in the Mediterranean way, but they don't suggest you start if you don't drink red wine. Yes. Okay, so 3 more, quick one. If you should stay what throughout your day? I don't know. That's really vague. So for stay what? Oh, they're hydrated, very true. Also, yeah, stay active throughout your day. And then sharing meals with who could you share your meals with that could be good to help you enjoy your meals? Your television? Friends. Yes, family and friends would be great. Just kind of helps you be more mindful about your meal and, just enjoy the company around you and make it a pleasant experience. Then when you're eating like that, you end up feeling more satisfied. So that's kind of cool. It's like a double benefit. And then what should you limit? You limit added blank, particularly from sweetened beverages, baked goods, and other processed foods. So it's the added sugar. Yes, you guys are good. Yeah. Okay, so here's all your pictures. You guys got them all. That was great. Okay, so then just to review what sets the Mediterranean way apart from other eating patterns, it uses simple ingredients and simple food preparation techniques. It's delicious because we use like healthy fats, spices, herbs, and aromatics to make the food delicious and craveable. And then it's satisfying too, because just, it's using foods that promote satiety. So like whole grains, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds, and healthy fats. That can help you walk away feeling satisfied and like you've had a really good meal. So how can you eat the Mediterranean way? So these are the 7 steps that we've been going over. So the first one was changing your protein, so swapping that out. More fish, more plant proteins like the beans and legumes that you guys got. Swapping your fats, so more olive oil, eating more vegetables and fruits. We're going to talk about that one today. Snacking on nuts and seeds, and making your grains whole. So we'll talk about that one next time. And then rethinking your sweets. That will be a fun one also. So those are the things, just, and then like the more you choose, the more you're eating the Mediterranean way. And we talked about how many benefits there are. So here is the step 3 then. So to eat more vegetables. So you want to get at least 3 servings. So like, let's say cups, 3 cups of vegetables per day. And you choose a variety of colors, just like, you guys knew that. Choose a variety of colors and shapes and sizes, and eat more of the dark leafy greens, especially the collards, the kale, the spinach, and the turnip greens, because they just are powerhouses for nutrients. So they look like they help your brain, your heart, you can't go wrong with those. So, but just trying to eat at least 3 vegetables in the day, and then eating more fruit. So trying to get at least 2 fruits. So just think vegetables, maybe I always think you need more of them. They don't have as much sweetness, and so we just need more of them as a base. And then the fruit is just a little bit less for 2. So like, 5 or more. I don't know if you've heard that Produce for Better Health saying it's 5 or more per day. So you get at least 3 servings of vegetables. Like, let's go with cup as a serving, and then 2 fruits. So like a cup as a serving. So if you think about, if you have an apple, that's 1. So you just have like something else throughout your day, maybe a cup of strawberries. So choose a variety of colors, and then include berries. Just, we know that berries are kind of like in the fruit section, they're kind of like the collards and spinach of the vegetable section. Really good for you. Okay. So one thing this is in the nutrition world, we go back and forth on some things, but there are, a lot of misinformation and confusion about nutrition, especially in the lay press, but sometimes even in the professional literature too. But one thing that we can almost all agree on is eating more fruits and vegetables. Just, it's the win. If you ever like look at different diets or people writing books on different things, everybody recognizes that fruits and vegetables are a win. And so, like, even if you're getting fed up with nutrition, just think about, these things we can agree on. The fruits and the vegetables, we know nuts and seeds are healthy. We know that olive oil is a good fat. And so it's like, nobody's arguing with these things, but this is probably the one, that we can all agree on the most, because there's just so much evidence to support the benefits of a diet heavy in fruits and vegetables. So here's just kind of a fun, interesting fact. A recent study looked at the importance of fruits and vegetables with respect to weight, and they found that as the fruit and vegetable intake goes up, weight goes down. So items that were associated with lower weight, like the people who ate more of these, just tended to weigh less. Berries, apples and pears, so if you like those. Cruciferous vegetables, so those are like, Janetta I bet knows, but the cabbage and the kale and cauliflower and broccoli and Brussels sprouts, bok choy. So those are cruciferous vegetables, and they are really known to help prevent cancer, but they're really good for you too. So in other ways, green leafy vegetables, and then all fruits and non-starchy vegetables. So that's pretty cool. And then the other thing, the 2 vegetables, they just weren't found to be protective against a higher weight, were corn and potatoes. This does not mean by any means that they're bad. It's just that they didn't help with the weight. And it's kind of funny because, in America, those are our number one. Potatoes are our number 1 vegetable, and then corn is not far behind. So that, just goes, too bad we didn't pick other different ones. But the takeaway then is we need to consume more fruits and vegetables, and if we can focus on like the berries, the apples, pears, the one in the green leafy vegetables, those things, just, it could help our weight and our heart at the same time. That's kind of cool. So kind of like having vegetables in the main part of your plate, it helps prevent against chronic disease, helps protect against overweight and obesity. And okay, we're going back in time. And so you're like, it seems like a win, right? So why don't we eat more fruits and vegetables? And I think probably the 3 biggest things would be the cost. Sometimes we perceive them to be more expensive, and sometimes they really are more expensive. hard to cook, and people sometimes just don't like them or like other things better. So they might as well choose the things they like the most. In the US, taste is the number one reason people choose foods. So nutrition comes number two, but taste still wins out. So it's like we have to make sure to, basically my goal then would be to switch all those and show how that things can be cost effective, fruits and vegetables can be convenient, and they can be craveable. So let's take a minute to just talk about each of those with some tips and flips. So just some tips then. Cost effective. So buy on sale, be flexible. And so that's like thinking about, maybe I was at Walmart yesterday picking up the ingredients for the things, and I was recognizing that some of the things I was buying were out of season. And so ideally you would want to try to get things that are in season, because not only do they taste the best, they're the cheapest, but they have the most nutrients. So like right now in Florida, Florida has some strawberries coming. So, like now is coming up the time where we can buy those, and blueberries, and, snack on a lot of those. And then later in the summer, it would be like our watermelon time, and cantaloupe and things like that. But just trying to buy that in the season, it'll cost less too. They have watermelons in Walmart, and they were $7 and something. And I was just like, it came from Guatemala. And so like, at least we can, get it if we really want watermelon, but it's, maybe not the best time to buy it, because, it's higher in price because it's not in season. So just buying what's in your food budget with the ultimate goal of having an eating pattern heavy in fruits and vegetables. So build your menu around available fruits and vegetables that work with your budget, food tastes, and shopping preferences. So I was just looking up, per pound, some of the cheaper fruits would be like the bananas, and then cantaloupe and watermelon, just because, you get a lot of fruit for that amount of money. Usually it's a bigger bang for your buck. And for vegetables like potatoes, carrots, onions tend to be the most cost effective. And so, like, just thinking about that, then maybe if you love carrots, that could be one of the foods that you kind of keep around a little bit more. So buying on sale, trying to think of, what's on sale, and then making your menu based on that and being flexible. So, maybe you decide not to get the strawberries if they're like $12 or something like that. And you don't have to buy organic or exotic varieties of fruits and vegetables. Don't let that stop you. Eating fruits and vegetables, whether they're conventionally or organically grown, is both awesome. That's like something everybody can really agree to also. So just like we know that more is better, and prices can vary widely between like the conventional or organic. And so here's just a picture of, just kind of comparison, showing a photo on the left, conventionally grown apples. So that just means apples that, organic means without hormone use, pesticides, things like that. They're generally better for the environment. But they also put limits on conventional things too, like how much fertilizers they can use and those things. But just a difference in the price then. So these are like apples are $2.99 a pound, and then the organic are $4.29 a pound. So just in that situation, you can get a lot more of the conventional than the organic for the same or lower price. And then costing effective, just like we were talking about, buying in season can help you save money. And sometimes maybe a consumer supported agriculture could work for you. Has anyone used those? Yeah, Eileen, good point. Like, yeah, freezing things like when they are in season, like berries, and then you'll have them when they're not, if you like that. Has anyone used one? I used to live in North Carolina, and I feel like they were very, very common there. Programs that allow you to buy the produce of local farmers, usually by paying like a set membership fee, and in turn you're receiving weekly or monthly orders. So depending on the CSA, you may or may not be able to choose the items you receive. So I had a friend who, she was like looking up recipes on how to use some of the things that she got in the box. So it could be really fun to do. But the idea is, like that hopefully would make you eat more fruits and vegetables while saving money. But this would depend on the cost of the CSA and whether you end up eating a lot of them or if they go to waste, because that maybe wouldn't be the best option for you. And then the farmer's market, that can be a good place to buy things in season sometimes, and gives you an opportunity to talk to the farmer about the produce. And they might sell large quantities at different fruits and vegetables at really good prices. So sometimes it seems like farmers markets can be expensive, but sometimes if the local farmer is there, you can get a pretty good deal. And then buying canned or frozen can also be effective. The frozen stuff, it's like sometimes fresher than the fresh stuff, if that makes sense. Like, they pick it from the field, they run it into the building, just do the freezing process. So it goes basically, from farm to like just frozen with the nutrients all in it. So you can get a really good nutrient dense food if you buy frozen sometimes, and they can be great options because the other thing with frozen is it's already prepped for you and washed. So like the broccoli, you don't have to wash it, you don't have to cut it, it's just there. But it does have a different obviously texture. So there's benefits and drawbacks to each kind. And then canned and frozen fruits and vegetables have a long shelf life. They can be great on hand just to keep in your pantry or freezer. Like say you eat all your fruit for the week and you're just like, man, because you're really you feel like fruit. And so just having like some canned mixed fruit where you can have it in the water or in its own juice, and then you can have that on those days. And then just thinking about reading labels. So trying to choose frozen vegetables and fruits that have no added sugar or salt, and choosing canned vegetables that are lower reduced sodium or no salt added. And then you can rinse it well after opening, and then you can reduce about what percent, do you guys know, of the salt added? If you rinse the canned vegetables that have salt, what percent can you decrease the sodium? Do you guys know? By rinsing it? Any guesses? 40. Way to go, Mike. Yeah, so 40%. Some of them 30 to 40 is kind of what they say. So that's pretty cool. If you do end up, there's no options for the no salt added ones, then you can do that yourself. And choosing canned fruits packed in the water or juices, like what we talked about. So make fruits and vegetables cost effective. Okay, so plan so that there's no waste. So in America, we throw away about 30 to 40% of our food. So that's a lot of waste. So that would be like going to the store and then you pick up 3 zucchini, and on the way out of the store, you throw one in the garbage. That's pretty much like what we're doing, And so thinking about how you could use up those fruits and vegetables before they go bad could really save you money. So try to think about what's on hand, and then be flexible about what you want for dinner. You might need to bring a little extra piece for fruit for lunch or extra vegetable for dinner. Thinking about what you're putting in that stir fry, maybe you add something that looks like it needs to be used. So just so that you can use them and then you can get the most bang for your money. Okay, and so making fruits and vegetables cost effective, then thinking about the value of these foods. And this is just crazy to me, but if you think about it, they could really keep your medical bills down by eating fruits and vegetables. So if there are fruits and vegetables that are kind of expensive, that you are just like, I probably, that's really expensive, I don't need to buy that. But just thinking about that, also think about the return on investment you're getting for them. So a diet heavy in fruits and vegetables has long-term value and good investment. One study found that consuming 9 or more servings of fruits and vegetables a day resulted in a 60% reduction in cardiovascular disease. So that's the number one killer in America. So it's amazing what fruits and vegetables can do, if you enjoy them, just really, and I'm trying to help you figure out some ways you enjoy them, but they're, really good for you. So the other thing to, make it convenient. If that's going to help you eat it, more likely to eat it, definitely go for it. That would be worth the extra money. If you buy the carrots that are not cut up already and you don't eat them, there's no benefits. You might as well spend a little bit more and get the ones that are cut up for you if you know that would help you enjoy them more. So just make sure they're ready to go when you need them. Buy single serve bags. If it fits in your produce budget, you can get like those ready to eat produce that are just the fruits and vegetables just ready to go, those like cups or pre-cut things, if that's going to help you, that can be great if that you can afford that. And having fruit washed and ready to go, way more likely to eat it so that you can just grab it leave some washed fruit in a bowl on your counter and your table, and then you'll remember to grab some when you're hungry or just when you're heading out the door. And peel and cut up fruits and vegetables to put in your lunch. I don't know if you guys have ever grabbed a lunch or something like that and you have something to eat, and then you also have like an apple on the side or an orange, and then you end up like eating what you had, and then you're not even hungry for the apple or orange. So maybe, cutting the apple or orange up so you make sure to include that in your meal. That could help. Just, it's already like the orange, especially, they can be like, oh, you have to go through the peeling thing. But if it's already peeled, you're way more likely to eat it. If you've ever handed somebody an orange slice, people are willing to take it, but not like, like the peeling, so much work. So pre-prepped salad and other vegetables. Yeah, just pre-prepping produce will help make eating fruits and vegetables way more convenient. You can prep produce in advance yourself, or you can buy items that are already pre-prepped. Um, like my mom, she likes celery, so she'll get a big thing of it, and then she'll take a lot of it, cut it up, and put it in a container. But if it's not cut up and put in a container, she's when she's hungry, then it's not like she's going to go start cutting up the celery. She just wants something right then. So having that convenient can really help. And the key is to find what works for you. And if pre-prepping like the produce yourself, maybe you can recruit a family member to help you. But the people, like especially someone maybe who doesn't like fruits and vegetables that much, because if you have grandkids or kids that don't really love fruits and vegetables, the more they're around them and the more they are involved in them and they touch them, they become more familiar with them. And we like things that are familiar with us. So therefore, they're more likely to eat them. So there's a strategy, right? So maybe you can go with that. And then here's some more just ideas then. Prepping fruits and vegetables in advance can help with cooking, meal preparation. I think one of the biggest ones, just having some cooked vegetables on hand. Like if you roasted a bunch and then for the week and stuff, and then just put them in different things. Like when you're making an omelet quick, like say you're just like, I want an omelet this morning. So you're making an omelet and you're just looking in your fridge for what you could add. If you don't have vegetables already cut up and ready to go, you're like, never mind on those, just thinking about how you could make it easy for you if you don't have a lot of time in the morning or at dinner time. So cooking the vegetables in advance to use like an omelets or any sorts of meals like that. Prepare. Sometimes stir fry prep can be really helpful. You prepare just like 3 to 5 vegetables in advance each week to have on hand for quick and easy stir fries. So maybe you really like the celery and the carrots or, peppers, and you just have those ready so that you can just, throw that in when you're starting to get hungry. And the oatmeal prep too, preparing fruit in advance to have on top of the oatmeal so you can have it just ready to go in the morning. But, washing berries in advance, they deteriorate as soon as you start washing them. So if you're going to do that, make sure you dry them off really well. That'll help reduce the chance of mold. And raspberries, I don't suggest, wash those just right before use. I think they're one of the most perishable foods. So if you've ever had raspberries go bad on you, you're not the only one. Okay. So how far you take the prep is up to you. You might have seen things like this, where people have their entire meals ready. Preparing ingredients for use in meals later in the week, it can really help you get it on the table quicker. So preparing vegetables, fruits, whole grains, healthy proteins in advance help you. And then prepping like the entire meals in advance for use throughout the week. You could do that also. Some people love doing that just on the weekend, and then they have everything just ready to go. Or you can, just prepare extra of whatever you make, and that can be a helpful strategy if you have like people who eat at different times. Also, just thinking about, something like a lasagna, it's not really hard. It's just kind of tedious to put together. There's kind of a lot of layers, so if you make one the size for your family, maybe there's a way you can make another one also. And then just put it in the freezer. You can, a friend showed me how you can just put aluminum foil in that pan, right? And then you can put the lasagna inside of it. And then after it freezes, so you put the pan in the freezer, and then you can take just the pan out and just wrap it in aluminum foil because it's already in there. And then you can just set that in your freezer, and then you'll have lasagna when you need it, and you can pull it out. So that's just a good way. Oh, good idea. Eileen says putting a dry paper towel in the prep bag container keeps it fresh longer. The spinach, if you ever buy that baby spinach, they found that the best method to keep it the longest is to put it in like a big kind of like Tupperware-ish bag or Tupperware-ish container and line it with paper towels, and then just put the spinach in there because because any of the moisture, like if one spinach leaf goes bad and it's by its friend, then that one goes bad. So just having them more spread out, they're less likely to get wet and all bad. So lay out the leaves on paper towels and roll it up. Put in, yes, that is a great idea too. She just says after washing romaine leaves, if you lay the leaves on paper towels and then you can roll it up and put it in a zip closed bag, that will help it keep like fresh and crisp. Okay. So convenient then, just kind of what we were talking about, roasting a pan of vegetables each week. This is going to be really good because then you'll just have tons of vegetables to use that you can throw in whatever you make. Say you make a rice bowl with, you can do rice and beans, or you can do rice and shrimp, and you have like these roasted vegetables that you've already done. And they're good hot or cold. So you'd put them in, toss them in olive oil, right? Yay! A little bit of salt and roast them at 375 for 20 minutes or so. And you can pick one vegetable, or you can do a mixture of vegetables, and you can enjoy them right out of the oven or cold then, and they're delicious first or second time around, which is a nice thing about that. And then fire up the grill. Grilled fruits and vegetables are delicious. If you're new to grilled fruit, try grilling pineapple for like a new kind of sweet taste, and then, or grilling bananas and make grilled banana splits. That's really good. I have some friends, she almost always grills her avocados, really likes them. They have like the grill marks on them and everything. And grilled peaches are really good. You just drizzle like a little bit of honey and cinnamon. And then just thinking about that when you do it then, make up a double batch, and then you'll have your food prep for 1, 2, or 3 meals. That's kind of what we're doing with that recipe today. So thinking of leftover prepped or cooked fruits and vegetables as an ingredient. So thinking about that, they're not leftovers. They're, like these are planned things you plan to use. So extra roasted vegetables, they can become a great addition to green salads. You can top leftover marinara sauce or sauteed greens, and you can just put an egg on that, and that could be a lunch or even a breakfast. And grilled vegetables, they could become a sandwich or taco filling we're doing today. And you could add extra grilled pineapple to salsa or use it on top of fish. So you can kind of see where you could really get creative once you have the things on hand. You'll just like be like, oh, I should use that on there. See what people like it. So how long will it keep? So you're like, well, this is a great idea, but if they're going to go bad after I roast them, I don't want to do that. So how long will they be okay? So what really matters, according to Dr. Chapman, he's a food safety specialist at NC State University, but just really matters is how cold your refrigerator is. So it's like 45 degrees versus 41 makes a big difference. So in terms of food safety, if your refrigerator is 40 degrees or below, all these things will keep about 7 days. But if your refrigerator is above 40, 41 or higher, these items like for food safety would keep about 3 days. So just something to be aware of. And you can use a thermometer so you can check your fridge and see where you're at. And in terms of quality then, just knowing, I guess, some pre-prepped vegetables and fruits, they might not maintain their quality for 7 days. Even if they're safe, they could like start to dry out. They could start to dry out, and they could get watery, or like strawberries, they could start to go bad. So, maybe there are some disadvantages to some things prepping them early, but usually, like for food safety, they will last. And thank you. Sorry about the pop-up thing that keeps coming up. Okay. So most importantly, because we know it's number one, right? Taste is number one. So making fruits and vegetables craveable. So here's some suggestions. So with the Mediterranean way, just thinking about adding flavor with oil and seasoning that can enhance the mouthfeel of the fruits and vegetables, and then using like oil and seasoning to transform like boring steamed green beans and other vegetables. So some sample recipes that are on the Med Instead of Med way would be the steamed greens with lemon zest, and then there's the summer green bean salad. Just, the summer green bean salad, it just adds some dresses green beans on their vegetables with olive oil, and then it adds herbs and seasoning. And that lemon zest, it just, really livens up those green beans with olive oil and lemon zest. So 2 more to try. And then, you could go this iceberg salad way, or you could transform, to make it more interesting then, and kind of make something where your taste buds just really love it, make you want to actually enjoy more versus feeling like you should have to eat this. So like the lentil one, we tried that. The quinoa strawberry salad. You guys remember that with the strawberries and nuts and the balsamic Dijon vinaigrette? And there's this apple cucumber slaw. And I thought about making that one today just because I think I haven't tried it yet. And I think it would be fun to see what it's like. It's a light and flavorful fruit and vegetable salad with white wine, or you can use rice vinegar. That could be a fun one. And so then the nice thing is you don't have to buy these anymore because now you're using, you're controlling what you're putting in it with. It's pretty awesome. You can make your own dressing. It's delicious and easy, and it's lower cost and healthier for you than the store-bought stuff. And you can make based on your family's like favorite flavors. So just salad dressing 101 in a recap. You start with a jar with a screw top lid. You add some acid and then oil. So about half and half, and then you can always add a little bit of oil if it's too tart for you. So you do about half and half, and then you add some seasoning, whatever you think you might like. You could do curry, you could do taco seasoning, Italian, things like that. And then you shake it up, and then you serve. So you store it in your refrigerator for a few weeks. So the acids, those could be things like lemon juice. You could even do orange juice. You could do any sort of the vinegars. You could do balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, which would be a little more tart. But you can kind of experiment and see what you like the most. Because if that would help you eat more salad, that would be awesome. So when you're serving it again, you might have to take it out of the refrigerator a few minutes, just allow it to reliquefy, because olive oil, it gets solid in the refrigerator. So here's some recipes that are on the Mediterranean Way website. That's that Med instead of Meds one. There's a chili powder vinaigrette recipe. It's spicy and delicious. There's a sherry Dijon vinaigrette recipe. That one's scrumptious and craveable. And then there's a citrus salad recipe that only has those 3 ingredients. And you see it on the bottom there. It's that citrus, olive oil, and salt. And then balsamic Dijon vinaigrette. I think that's probably my favorite. Delicious dressing with classic flavors. And then there's also more things, including Caesar and that cumin vinaigrette. I really like that one too. Chili lime vinaigrette and more at Med instead of Meds. I feel like I'm advertising, but they do have good recipes. So craveable. I got to tell you too about that Med instead of Meds. So they're constantly adding recipes on there. I just saw a couple new ones show up. So that's kind of nice, that it's being added to. I feel like, we're as part of something that is growing. So make fruits and vegetable craveable. So roasting the vegetables. I used to work with kids, and it can be a game changer. The roasting and caramelization of the vegetables make them delicious. So when you roast them, they kind of bring out the sweetness in the vegetables. And even non-vegetable eaters sometimes really love the roast vegetables. So examples would be like that spicy roasted cauliflower. There's a recipe on that. And the roasted Brussels sprouts, those are like candy. They're really good, I think. A little bit of balsamic vinegar on there. And then the oven roasted vegetables recipe, where you can kind of just roast your favorites. And then add flavor with oil and seasonings. So thinking about seasonings, it can be a simple or a blend. It's up to you. I've heard rave reviews on, there's the Med Meds recipes, has the homemade taco seasoning recipe. And definitely, I think that would be a good one to try. There's some people who have really said it's really good. So I have meant to make that, but could be an option. And then pumping up the vegetables in the foods you already love. So here's a way to get them in there, with foods that, you're just like starting with mac and cheese. You love mac and cheese. Let's try, maybe we can add some peas in there. Maybe we can add some broccoli in there. And they're kind of, just good in that cheese, and with like, kind of gives it a crunch. And then you could really start to enjoy it that way. So here's like other ideas too. So like the mushroom beef tacos. So you're trading out half the meat for the mushrooms. It's just like you're putting it in there, incorporating it into dishes that you already like. So like whole wheat pasta, say you love pasta, you could put beans and greens in there. There's a recipe for that. And then like, how we did with the Mediterranean tuna salad recipe is kind of like we added carrots in there and, some celery, different things like that. So you're just adding vegetables to something you already enjoy. And mindful eating, then here's kind of what we were talking about. Just I wanted to touch on it with the family and friends and things. It just this is also part of the Mediterranean way. It means like eating with awareness what's on your plate, and also like the entire eating experience. So I kind of thinking about it sometimes when you're at a restaurant, you're not distracted by TV or, maybe your phone either, but you're just kind of like enjoying the time, enjoying the food, enjoying the people. And it's like being present in the moment, enjoying every aspect of the meal you're eating. So mindful eating is it's going to be a new way of approaching food and eating for many people. And such, requires a bit more time and practice to get used to, but, following some simple eating strategies will help you become familiar with it and how to use it. So it helps you increase the fruits and vegetables that you eat, but helping you become more mindful of what you're eating. So you're not just like, eating, and then you can kind of see how much you're eating too. And taking simple steps to eat mindfully will help you better enjoy the eating experience, which is cool. So, and make it easier to eat this way. So enjoyment can only come out of this. So just it's being the practice of being fully present in the moment means living with greater awareness of your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and it leads to intentional choices of eating instead of responding to external cues like emotions or your environment. So you're more like thinking about, how your body's feeling. The goal when you're eating is actually to feel better after you eat than before you ate, so you're not like trying to, it kind of like, I guess that just gives you an idea of like, looking at the things you're eating and just trying to think, am I going to feel better after I eat this? Like, and if you are, go ahead. Moving from mindless eating to mindful eating, it can make a big difference in how you relate to food and can have a big impact on your eating habits. So, big step towards healthy eating. And it means paying close attention to every detail of your eating experience. Like what should you eat? How much should you eat? How should you eat? Why should you eat? So just thinking about those things. So eating without distractions, then turning off the cell phones or keeping them in another room, turn off and eat away from the TV, the computer, etc. And see how this is different than, like a lot of people do. I think focus on the eating experience instead of newspapers, work, technology can kind of give you that time, like just by yourself, or you just, or with your family and friends, just kind of a break from everything. Make it like an exclusive event. And so it's your time to replenish your stomach and your spirit. And we'll help you do this by focusing on attention on the eating experience. And you guys might have heard people who have family meals, like with their kids and things like that. The kids are way more likely to do well in school, feel more confident, not end up doing drugs or go to jail. It's just crazy what just a family meal, just having that time kind of helps, I guess, yeah, replenish your spirit. So trying to make your environment pleasant, like you could turn on some background music or lighting some candles to make your eating environment more enjoyable. And then eating sit down at a table. So sitting down at a table will help you focus more attention on the eating experience and allow you to be more present in the moment. So if you're like running around like vacuuming while you're eating, like it's you're probably not mindful about that food that you're putting in, how you're eating, what you're eating, and who you're eating with. So you can eat slowly, enjoy every bite. Appreciate the foods you eat by taking time to enjoy them. Take time to savor your food. Think about the taste, the texture, the smell, etc. And it's kind of like we're making stuff now that kind of makes you want to do that. It's some really good flavorful stuff. Whereas I think about the iceberg. You just kind of, just with iceberg lettuce with like dressing. Maybe that's something you really savor, but just like having all those flavors can really make it the eating experience enjoyable. And then eating slowly can help you get control over the amount of food you're eating and give you better satisfaction too. So just trying to make each meal last about 20 minutes. So give yourself that time. And eating is important. So just give yourself that time to enjoy the food and the eating experience. Kind of a break. So simple steps to mindful eating. That would be listen to your body cues. Help you become better in tune with your body's eating cues. So allow yourself to recognize and listen to when your body is telling you what you're telling you, what is telling you when you're coming to eating, when it comes to eating. So sometimes external stimuli to eat, such as, smelling, seeing, or even talking about food, like they can override the need for calories. So maybe you're not even hungry, but you might eat because the food tastes good, not because you're hungry. And, you don't have to eat it if you're not hungry. It's okay to do that sometimes just because, we're humans and smelling popcorn, you just want a handful of popcorn and that's okay. But just think about your external cues, like, are they signaling you to eat or are you listening to yourself? So kind of being in control of yourself then. So you're making intentional choices instead of listening to all the external things or emotions. Sometimes emotions make us want to eat too. And then here are just some body cues, like to get the idea. So you try not to let yourself get to a 1 or 2. So that's when you're, so weak, like just you're too hungry. And so then also you don't really want to get to a 7 or 10. So the idea would be to eat on this scale until you're like 3 or 4, and then put the fork down when you're at like a 5 or 6. So it's like the idea would be to try to stay in the middle, because that'll help you just feel better throughout your day, have enough energy, and then you'll be satisfied and you'll feel good after you eat too. So think about like why you're eating and kind of think about where you are on that scale. Like, are you, if you're 1 or 2, like, get some food for sure, but try to eat at 3 or 4 before you get to that point. You can make better choices then too. Sometimes it helps people just to pause, like in the middle of your meal for a couple minutes, like assess how you're feeling, like, do you want some more or not? And try eating dinner. Like some people say to eat with your non-dominant hand. I was trying that last night, and I got to tell you, it really does slow down your eating. So you're really thinking about that food. I was trying to I was eating a soup and just trying to get it in. I kept losing it. I was like, I can do this. Like, concentrate on how you scoop I think they say that if you can eat with both hands, that really helps your mind. So maybe that is something I should also work on. But it does slow down your eating. Putting away distractions such as your computer or moving out of your office if it's a nice day. It's not raining here yet. So take up an activity. Here's an idea such as knitting or crocheting or jewelry making that helps keep your hands busy while watching TV. I worked with somebody once. She was a patient. She was a teenager, but she said, I always need to have something in my mouth. That was just something, it was like comforting to her, kind of like how some people say, I always need to have my hands doing something. So we were working on, different ways that she could have that without eating all the time, because she was, using it the wrong way. So here are just some recipe ideas then. So these are all on the medinsteadofmeds.com. So if you guys make any of these recipes, you'll have to send pictures to me so you can get entered in that drawing. And I got bombed with work yesterday, but I have some of your emails there. I can't wait to look at, because I can see on the title, it's like picture of. So if you haven't heard back from me, that's maybe why. So this recipe is a pretty good one. I love how they do the rainbow idea. I think I've kind of mixed them all together. But then, if you end up doing something like that, some of those vegetables might take a little longer than other ones. And the cool thing about putting them in lines like that is you can just scoop up the line if it's ready, like if the squash gets done before the potatoes, or you cut the potatoes in smaller pieces, you'll start to learn which things you like more done and which things, you're fine if they're still a little crunchy, or if you want to cut them smaller. This recipe, really good. And then the summer green bean salad. And then we have the cabbage stir fry recipe. I looked at making that one too. I thought it'd probably go better with the tacos than the pancakes, but really set on the pancakes. So vegetable omelet, that would be good too. Mushrooms are great. They give it that umami flavor. That's like the fifth thing, and it's really like a deep meaty flavor. That, and then the avocado toast and spicy vegetable tacos. We're making those today. They look like they have black beans in it, doesn't it? But it doesn't. No black beans. But that would go good with black beans. Like the black bean soup, that's in there too. And then here's like a whole wheat pasta and pesto and vegetables recipe. And then we got some fruits, just to try to think of eating fruits kind of, just some different ways. Here's a citrus salad recipe. Here's a mango, black bean, and quinoa salad. Here's that apple cucumber slaw. Then we have the quinoa strawberry salad. A chili lime salad with grapefruit, mango, and pineapple. Then there's a fruit smoothie recipe. And a couple of you guys have made this one. It's the peanut butter and apple slices sandwich. I thought about demoing it, but I thought you guys would think I'm getting out easy or something. So. Okay, and that's all I have for the fruits and vegetables. So we can go to the kitchen. Do you guys have any questions? We only have 2 sessions left. So I'll just see if there's any questions. Otherwise, we can take a quick break and run to the kitchen. All right, we'll go. Thank you, guys. See you in a second.
I love the picture of Mykonos in the background. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can't hear you.
I just said I changed locations. So yes, good call.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little island. Or at least that's what it looks like. It may not be Mykonos, but it looks like it.
Definitely, I'll go with that. All right, let's see. Can you kind of see okay? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Okay, I'll go back to mute.
That's okay. Okay. Right, let's see here. See if I got everything. We got a pan here. Hopefully this is a pan that works. Okay, so I do not have a grill or an oven in here. So we're gonna use this pancake griddle for not the pancakes, but for the vegetables. I have kind of a lot of vegetables, so I made half the recipe. So I don't know if any of you guys have already made it, but this is about half the recipe in this bag here. So I know that the marinade is really good. Here's the chipotle chili peppers. The rest of them, they came out of this little can right here. You can see it. So let me get this fired up. I think this will take the longest, 15 minutes for the vegetables, about 15, 20. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do first is get the vegetables rolling, and then we'll work on the pancakes, and then we'll go back to the vegetables and things. So the first thing, what we've already done here is we've done the marinade. So it's really nice because it's 3 tablespoons of everything. I just cut everything in half just because you guys aren't here with me to share. So then there's 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. We have 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. And then we used 3 tablespoons of water, and then 3 garlic cloves chopped. So this is for the full recipe now. And then 3 canned chipotle chilies with 3 teaspoons of that adobo sauce chopped, and then a cup of olive oil. So that's the marinade. So what I did is I just split that in half. And so in this can here, there's these, you will see, like if you get them out, they're big chunks of chilies. So chipotle chilies are just smoked jalapenos, actually. But the flavor, it smells like it's like a smoky, sweet, slightly spicy smell like to it. I taste it a little bit. But so here's what the sauce kind of looks like, but there's big peppers in there. So you might wonder if you're like, well, maybe I'll skip that. But maybe even if you can just use the sauce and not the pepper, or take out kind of the seeds a little bit, it won't be as spicy. And then I also, so I was wondering, okay, so I have this now, I have some extra. What am I going to do with this? And so what you can do is you can plop it like on some wax paper on a sheet pan, and then put little spoonfuls on it and put it in the freezer. And you can then, when the little spoonfuls freeze, you can put them all together in a bag, and then whenever you want to make this recipe again, which will be a lot, then you can just take those out and use them. Otherwise, I'll be done before 15 minutes. Right? The smoke alarm doesn't go off. Okay, so what I have in here is zucchini, eggplant, onion, pepper. It said, so I forgot the recipe when I went to the store, but I remembered everything except it says red or green bell pepper, and I happened to pick up an orange, just slightly off there. But see how I'm just making it in big chunks. Obviously, I'm not going to fit everything on there. Lesson number 1 for Andrea: bigger pan. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put a variety on there, so at least we can see like how it turns out. The idea is then after they are done grilling, actually we need room for the corn too. So I washed this corn cob. We're putting that on there. And we're just going to turn these periodically then. So at least we'll get a variety of vegetables done, so we'll be able to see what it's going to turn out like. Still a lot of the bag left, right? So a big grill would be great. Or one of you guys suggested, she's like, not sure, Della, right? she was just saying that, maybe she's not going to use her grill and she's going to maybe roast them. So she said she'd let me know how that turned out, hopefully. Okay, so those are going. So it says for that, about a grill to like 350 to 375, and then turning occasionally about 15 to 20 minutes. Mine already probably have a char on them. So as those are grilling, we'll grill the corn, which is about the same time. And then we'll transfer all these to a cutting board right here. And then we'll chop them. And then we serve them in tortillas. So that's all we have to do. So really, it's a recipe that makes itself, except for the grilling part. We'll see how that goes. All right, so pancakes. Here we come. All right, so I'm just gonna test this. It's looking good, guys. All right. Okay, so I have my little pancake bowl here. They suggested cutting the vegetables about a ½ inch thick, which is about the size of my pinky, so in slices like that. So that's what I tried to do, but I think maybe some of them are a little bit thinner, which actually might cook faster. That would help us. All right, so for the tacos, or for the pancakes then, we need 2 eggs that are beaten. So I got egg number 1, egg number 2, 2 bananas that are mashed. So I have mashed banana 1 and 2 in here, and against all the bananas. And then we're gonna put in old-fashioned oats. So let's get this going. We have egg number 1. And we have egg number 2. And we have paper towel. And some hand sanitizer. This is where you wash your hands, ideally. Okay, we're gonna beat those quick. Get this in there. And then I'm gonna put in a banana. I had 2 bananas that were frozen from a smoothie at that health fair, so then I could just use those. It's really nice. Sometimes they're almost easier to mash when they come out of the freezer, so very soft. All right, we got those in there. Banana. Great. Like this. And then we're going to put in a half of these oats, half cup. And we have, so oats are a whole grain, even if they're the small cut, even if they're the instant ones, they're still whole grain, but they would increase blood sugar faster. So the smaller they're cut, the more digestible they are. So that could be really good if you're really hungry, you need something really fast. But like the steel cut oats, then they would take longer to break down. So they keep you full longer. Okay, so a ½ teaspoon of baking powder. I have baking powder here. And then I have 1/4 teaspoon, so I need 2. And then cinnamon. Can't forget cinnamon and vanilla. So cinnamon is just called for 1/8 of a teaspoon, so that 1/8 of a teaspoon is half of this little guy right here. So I'm just gonna put some in there. A little more is not bad. Okay, so then we have vanilla. Get it, that sweetness. So vanilla has no calories, so that's the benefit of, it just gives sweetness without adding any calories. That and cinnamon both have that, they do that special thing where they kind of make it taste like it's sweet. All right, I'm mixing those in. Did we miss anything? Okay, cinnamon, vanilla, baking powder, rolled oats, bananas, and eggs. Sounds pretty easy. Okay. I make this kind of recipe a lot at home where you just do the bananas, a dash of oatmeal, and I even put lentils in there sometimes, and then some eggs, and it makes like a pancake. So what we need to do now is turn this on. We'll see if it gets hot. That'll be the testing rate. So we want medium-low heat here, not too hot. I'm gonna turn the vegetables. Ooh, look at how pretty. The eggplant's getting done. That's good. Ooh. I was gonna show you the corn, but I think I would drop it. So we'll just let that go. All right. It's getting hot. That's good. The wind. So I had to buy new olive oil. So I did our 3-step thing. So we got dark bottle, right? Extra virgin olive oil. And then I have the date right here. And just out of curiosity, if you wanted to know, it's a product of Greece, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and Tunisia. And it's packed in Italy. So maybe grapes came from all those places and used by April 13th, 2023. But I'm going to keep it in the fridge just so it stays good longer. So we're estimating here about 1/2 teaspoon of olive oil. So that would be 2 of these. All right. And I coat the pan a little bit here. Then we're going to, so they suggest with about a 1/4 cup for each pancake, I believe that's what they kind of said here, suggesting. So this is a 1/2 cup, so I'll just do about 1/2 of that. I'm going to try to make it into a heart, but so mine has a little lump, so ideally I could have mixed it a little bit better probably, but it will be fine. Let's get a banana chunk every once in a while. Okay, so here are mine. You can see them. Yes, you can. All right, we're going back over here. Eggplant and fun. All right. We're gonna swap this. On over. We're gonna cut more here. So when the edges of the pancakes start to get done, and you can kind of start peering under there to see if they're looking like they're ready to go. I really want to turn it up to medium, but I know my past history with making things a little darker, so just trying to calm down. That guy's done. That guy's done. have a big chunk of onions. We'll see how that goes. I have to tell you guys, so I love spicy things, but there's like a smoky spicy with those. I think it's like, gets in there. So it definitely will get flavor, that's for sure. I'm turning it up to medium. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not even close. Okay. Okay. I really want to do medium high, but we'll resist for now. Okay, so I'm just gonna coarsely chop these guys. I think I need to sharpen this knife. Did you guys know that a dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp knife? Because it slips all over. I'm turning it up. They're just sitting there. They're puffing up though. You can tell the eggs and baking powder are doing their job. All right, the corn's almost. It's not incredibly done, but I have to show you a trick I learned to cut the corn. All right, so we have some of those chopped there. Napkin. All right. So I have some whole wheat tortillas here. I also think this could be really good, like on top of a salad. You had like shrimp or like grilled chicken or other pieces of fish. This is gonna be pretty good. And then Eileen, I think she mentioned, I don't talk about tofu that much, so that is also definitely an option. And that would be something really fun to grill. Also, so you could take the freeze out the water of that tofu, and then you put it on the grill with these vegetables. And you can have tofu, which would give you a little extra protein. Out of these vegetables, the vegetable that has the most protein is actually the corn. If you have a whole cob, it's 4.5 grams, whereas like one medium onion is about 1.2 grams of protein. So just if you're wondering about protein. The eggplant, it gets done pretty quick, and it really, it takes that flavor of the marinade. It soaks up stuff. So that's why sometimes you have to be careful if you're eating something in the restaurant. Just if they use a lot of oil, it could be a really high calorie dish because the eggplant just soaks whatever up. But it'll also contribute flavor, and we know it's olive oil, so that's good. All right, we're getting there. Pancakes also getting there. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you here forever, so what we'll do is pretty close. We have some vegetables. We'll cut up that eggplant. The spice is getting in my nose. If some of you other people, if you guys are making it now, you'll have to tell me you're having the same experience. I left the peel on the eggplant, so you can definitely do that. Nothing wrong with it. All right. I think these pancakes are finally ready. Oh, look at how they're just moving around. Okay. And then let's do the corn, okay? So you can see it here. Actually, let me make sure there's no question in it. I don't want to see how you guys are doing. The veggies roasted in the oven. So somebody else said she might try that, so she's gonna have to let me know like just how they turn out. But I think they would be awesomely fine. So, did you freeze the bananas whole? Yeah, with the skin on. I did. I just popped them in there, and then today, then I just took out two of them, and then they were, I could just easily. I took out two of them last night, so they were thawed, and so that I could easily just mash them up, and so that was that. Let's see if I can move this thing up. And everything else. Yes, or put them on ice cream cake. That's a really good idea for that chipotle chili pepper. All right. My fuse keeps blowing here. The drawback. Come on, guys. Ooh, they're actually pretty good. Oh, good. Ah, we're good, you guys. You can see the heart one I got here. Nope, you probably can't. See? Oh, so for Valentine's Day, right? Okay, so what I would suggest if I had one more burger, or I thought you guys would really be interested, but I think if you just took some frozen fruit and you heated that up, you could make like a really good sauce just with that. Just even like a tablespoon of water, or I have some strawberries that would be really good on here. My favorite growing up is applesauce on the pancakes. It just it kind of coats it all with the fruit, and it tastes really good and sweet. So there we have some of those. I'll try to get the last ones going here. And then we'll do the corn. I'm kind of waiting on the corn to get done, a little more done, but we're making a big heart. All right. So, I said I make something very similar. I just don't use as much oatmeal. And the difference is, is this one is, mine is more crepe-like, and this one is not. We might have to cook that later. All right. See how we're doing. Oh yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Let's get the corn here. Get that cooling. So I have to show you. I have not tried this, but I just found out about this a little bit ago because I wanted a safe way to cut corn that doesn't go everywhere. So what they suggested is you take a bowl, right, the big bowl, and you put another bowl upside down. If you have one with a rim, they just said, that could be great because it'll keep the corn from slipping. So the ideal thing would be to put the corn then on this, right? So that when we cut it, it falls into the bowl. So this is what should happen. And then they were like, not on the cutting board. It was kind of a little hack. You can just peel out the kernels. You don't want to have the knife like going towards the cob, just because then it would be, you'll get in trouble, get hard to cut. But you do want to get the cobs off, corn, the kernels off if you can. And there's a bunch of cornstarch under there that has a lot of flavor right under the corn. That's why sometimes people use the cob in stock, like soup stock and stuff. But if you kind of like just go like this, you can get a lot of it out. That did work pretty cool. I think you were doing a bunch of them. Think of how that would be. I'm just gonna get off the bottom part. All right. We have the corn. Sure. Just put some in there. Then I have my taco. Oh gosh, I'm filling mine up. All right. So I guess there we have it. That'll be fun to try. And so I think this would be an excellent recipe with like the black bean soup, or if you wanted to add shrimp or tofu for more protein. But I was looking, all the vegetables have a little bit, and then with the tortilla, it adds up, about 11 grams of protein per serving. I have a pretty big one here, so it does give you some protein if you're thinking about that. Let me see. That's all I have for you guys today, though. I really, looking forward to seeing you guys on the next next two classes. Let me just see if I made the black bean smoothies. I sliced the banana and laid the slices out without overlapping on wax paper. The folded paper over and stuck in freezer bag. Oh yeah, freezer bag. Okay, yeah, that's great. She was talking about how she did the sliced bananas, just freezing them. You can also lay them in slices, and then you can put them, put them on. Yeah, she said, on the wax paper without overlapping them, because then you can just take them off as you need them. That's a really good idea. I have a lot of trouble with this touch screen here going up. Okay. Yeah, and the tofu, I think for the Mediterranean way, they say, kind of their stance on that with just what they found is that, it can definitely be a part of it. It's not like they really emphasize the fish and the beans and lentils and nuts and seeds, but I definitely by looking at the studies, tofu would work pretty well, and that would be really good with this too. Like they suggest if you do soy, because it does have some benefits. The soy, a lot of people think it might have risks, but it actually can help reduce cancer and things like that. It's kind of it had a bunch of myths by it, poor guy. But anyway, so they're just saying, if you like soy, try to get the soy like the tofu or the tempeh, kind of like those real soy things, but rather than soy that's been made up into like crumbles, things and like that more processed stuff. So they were saying, you can get your most benefits out of that. So that's all I'd have to say with that. Thank you guys so much. Does anybody have any other questions? Good. All right. looking forward to seeing you guys next week. And thank you. Keep the recipes coming. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I really appreciate it. Thank
Well,
you guys.
yeah,
Bye.
I had a question about the oven temperature. We talked about the olive oil in 375, and
Yes.
I know a lot of recipes call for you to roast potatoes, sweet potatoes and so forth at 425.
Right.
So what's
So then I would say, yeah, probably I would, if I was using olive oil, I would turn it down to the 375 just to make sure. And it might take longer, but yeah,
okay? Just let it go longer. Okay.
yeah, that's what I would suggest. Just, yeah, don't want it smoking. Um, and you could use maybe canola oil if you wanted to do that, but I actually don't know offhand the smoke point of canola oil, so I'd have to check that too. So I hope you guys have a good week. That was a good question. Thank you. All right. See if I can. All right. Bye, guys.